I've been coming to Mexico now for approximately 9 years, and I come mostly during the winters from the States. And I've stayed at many different places here, and every time I arrive, I find myself wanting to paint here, wanting to paint and wanting to allow the culture of Mexico to insert itself into my life, which I do more or less effortlessly. And that is what keeps me coming back, is the fact that I'm able to do that here in Mexico. So my practice here and my work consists of working in a book format, in a journal format, where I find myself writing, and the writing perhaps evolved from a dream. I often come up with ideas very early in the morning upon waking. Certain images come to me, and I sit with them for sometimes many days, enjoying letting them dwell in me until I'm able to sit down and actually actualize them with my writing and with my painting. So this is what's allowed me to create the book that I have done, which is a compilation of 7 years of my journals. And I've taken pages that have visual images from one page to another. And some of it is illegible, some of it has poems that are clearly written that I've had translated into Spanish or worked into Spanish translations. And that's been my thing for many years now, coming to Mexico. This was the first book I made, hand-bound. This is after 3 years of my trips to Bali, and this was kind of my baby book. And then 6 years later, and just this past year, I completed my book and my journals from Mexico. So I found that in doing all of my paintings that there's an interesting intersection between the church in Mexico and indigenous people of the past, and I have been working in that theme throughout all of these journals. So there's a presentation you will see that shows either pre-Columbian art or the church from the conquistadors' times, and that's an ongoing fascination for me. And inside the box there lives a collection of photographs of 11 of my images that are here, that I've also taken through the years, and they live inside the box here. And so it's a collection of my life over my times in Mexico, which are forever rich and always fascinating to me, and it's become my great love. So I have found through the years that I really love working in this particular format, and I suspect it's because I've enjoyed the works of artists, often their preliminary sketches. For instance, the sketchbooks of Klaus Oldenburg and Henry Moore. I've been, for some reason, drawn more to the work than I am often in the so-called final project. I really appreciate the sense of spontaneity in the original energy, the original fire from which the work comes from, which for me is the process of putting together thoughts and ideas into images, whether it's words, whether it's straight ideas, whether they're abstract or something I happen to see in the street that I end up painting as I'm walking. I stop and I paint. So I would like to mention the origin of this project. It's interesting to me. It happened one day when a friend of mine came to visit who liked my work quite a bit, and he saw all these journals on the shelf, and he said to me, "So Lee, what are you going to do? Are you going to die with all this beautiful work sitting on shelves getting dust?" And he lit the fire under me. That was what I needed to hear for me to actually finalize the project. So one fine day I took all of these journals into my tent on the coast of Maine and sat at a chair and started editing them. And that was the beginning of the project for me. This book for me was a challenge because I realized that I had to find myself, create a state of fearlessness in which I could present the work with no hesitation and no fear of what people might think or what I have said in the material. So I think that this effect of being able to express oneself without any hesitation, to get the writing, to get the painting out there, is an inspiration.